I got 2 o'clock if you guys are good to go.
They're professionals.
Perfect. So we'll call today's January 13th meeting, City Council with a call to order with a roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Abbott.
Here.
Council members Vanderwell.
Here.
Anderson.
Here.
Bybee.
Here.
Rodriguez.
Here.
Assistant City Attorney Northington. Assistant City Manager Martini.
Here.
We have a quorum. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Opening ceremonies, Mr. Rajan Zed. Oh, he's right over there. I saw him somewhere. You all rise and all yours, Rajan.
Yona Prachodayat. We meditate on the transcendental glory of the Deity Supreme, who is inside the heart of the earth, inside the life of the sky, and inside the soul of the heaven. May He stimulate and illuminate our minds. Astoma Sadgamya, Tamsoma Jyotirgamya, Mrityor Mamratam Gamya. Lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality. Tasmada Sakta Statam Karyam Karma Samachara Sakta Hacharan Karma Parmapanoti Purusha Karma Nevahi Samsiddhi Mastita Jankadya Loka Sangreha Mevapi Sampashankar Tumrahasi. Strive constantly to serve the welfare of the world. By devotion to selfless, one attains the supreme goal of life. Do your work with the welfare of others always in mind. Om Saha Navabatu, Saha Nobanaktu, Saha Viryan Karva Bahai, Tejasvi Navadita Mastu, Ma Vidvisa Bahai. May we be protected together, may we be nourished together, may we work together with great vigor, may our study be enlightening, may no obstacle arise between us. Samniva Kuti, Samna Hirdaniva, Samna Mastuvo Mano, Yathava Susa Hasti. United your resolve, united your hearts, may your spirits be at one, that you may long together dwell in unity and concord. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Om. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. If you guys will please stay standing, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Julie Dole, I'm going to ask you to lead us today, our amazing public information person.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, thank you. And we'll go to public comment. I got 2 tickets here. We're going to call up, I believe, Tom Bartley. Or Todd? Oh, Todd Bailey. My apologies. Is Todd? Oh, there you are. Sorry about that. You got your 3 minutes, and do you need the overhead on?
Please.
They are on it.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much for your help. Really appreciate the staff here at Sparks. My name is Todd Bailey. I'm the chairman of the group known as Nevada Accountability. We've been in Nevada for 10 years at the legislature and at various government bodies. And I'm here today for 2 things. First of all, well, before I get to that, let me say this is the first time I've been in your legislative chamber. But this is the first time in the new city council chamber, and it's really cozy. They did a great job at it, so just pass that along. I don't get over to Sparks too much, mostly because you guys do what you're supposed to do. Like, you kind of pay attention to the job and get the job done, and so there's not really a reason for us to be here. The 2 reasons I'm here today is I would like each and every one of you to please reach out to your counterparts at the Washoe County School District. They have to make an appointment tomorrow to replace the person who was in District C, the distinguished Joe Rodriguez, who now represents Ward 5 here at the Reno City Council. And the person I'd like you to recommend is Jason Phoenix. Jason Phoenix is the right man at the right time in the right place. He's a resident of the district for, his entire life. He served our country in the Nevada National Guard for 25 years, made it to lieutenant colonel, a Reno police officer for 25 years, tribal chairman of the Paiute tribe, and also served on their charter junior high school. So he, again, is the right man in the right place at the right time. And I think a phone call from the distinguished members of the Sparks City Council would be a great thing. Secondly, back in December of December 7th, I believe it was, at the Washoe County School District, there was 30 students from Hug High School who had to be there as part of their government class and give testimony. And there were some problems with NRS 241 that became real evident. And in their case, it was time certain. There is no time certain for public comment at the Washoe County School District. So we're going to be approaching the legislature about some changes, but one thing that came out obvious is it's different everywhere. And so we created an audit to try and measure that. I'm going to go over that for how the city of Sparks did. First of all, public comment, yes, you have a +5. Is public comment at the beginning and the end of each meeting? Yes, +5. Is public comment allowed on every item of the consent agenda? No. So that's a -5. Public comment is a full 3 minutes? Yes, +5. Is there any overly intimidating language to public speakers in your agenda? No, we didn't really find that, +5. Okay. Is there more than one law enforcement officer in the meeting? We only see one, +5. Chief doesn't count. It's okay. And is the law enforcement official within 25 feet of the speaker's podium? No, that's a +5. Now, something new at Sparks. I did not know this. And that's Sparks does not allow public comment on every item. So you have items on your agenda that you can't make public comment on. That's a -5. So we're going to have to add that to our list, and we'll address that at the Nevada legislature. I'd like this entered into the public record, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great meeting.
Thank you, you too. Paul Augustini, come on down. And that's all the cards I have. If you're looking to make public comment, let our clerk know, and we'll go from there.
Hello, my name is Paul Augustini, and I live I'm in Miss Bybee's Ward 4. And I would like to spend a moment talking about something that you're probably sick and tired of hearing about. And that is the development, or maybe some would say the overdevelopment of Sparks. And I, for one, am kind of almost sickened to see all of the commercial development being done in residential areas. I think when people think in terms of Spanish Springs, they picture homes. That's a development for families, whether they be in homes or apartments. But there's a lot of development taking place right now and probably in the future that's more commercial. And I think the thing that comes to my mind the most is the warehousing that's right there on Pyramid. And I understand that these properties were probably purchased years ago and they received permission at that time to be able to build whatever they wanted to build on there as long as it met certain criteria. So we're kind of watching things go in there now that are a bit unsettling. And while there may not be anything we can do about halting that or curtailing it or cutting back on it, maybe we can do some things that would make it more acceptable. And when I think in terms of maybe 40 to 50 foot tall evergreen trees planted all around these buildings that are going in, I don't know that it's going to make it more acceptable, but I can tell you that it would make it look more like, it would hide the flaws in what is a residential area. And I'm sure that there are other things that have been brought up before, and this has probably been brought up before too, but I think we should consider some ways that if we can't stop it, can we put something in place that would make it more in keeping with the environment around that area. I would be very upset. I would be very disturbed if in the area that I live in, which is a residential area, parcels of land started going in with warehousing. It's not the reason I moved here, and I think it's not the reason most people moved here. So if there's any way we can somehow or other get our arms around trying to, like I say, make it look more like a community. And I'm sure there are a lot of creative people out there that can come up with some good ideas on how to pull that off. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else for public comment? I don't see anybody. Then we're going to move on to item 5.1, looking for an approval of the agenda. Councilman Anderson,
Move to approve the agenda as submitted.
Councilwoman Vanderwell.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Looks like passes unanimously. Off to item 6.1, consideration and possible approval of the minutes of the Sparks City Council Priorities Workshop for December 6, 2024, and the Sparks City Council meeting for December 9th, 2024. Councilwoman Bybee?
I move to accept the minutes of the Sparks City Council Priorities Workshop for December 6th, 2024, and the Sparks City Council meeting for December 9th, 2024.
Councilman Rodriguez.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Passes unanimously. 7.1, boards and commission vacancy announcements, Sparks Charter Committee. Assistant City Manager Martini.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. There is one vacancy on the Sparks Charter Committee for a 2-year term ending November 30th, 2026. Vacancy is for Assemblywoman Jill Dickman's appointment to the committee. Charter Committee members must be registered to vote and reside in the city of Sparks for the duration of the appointment. Applications will be accepted until February 7th, 2025. To apply, please go to the city's website and click Get Involved. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, sir. We'll move to 7.2, proclamation of Human Trafficking Prevention Month. I believe Councilman Rodriguez. And is there anyone here to accept this by chance? You guys are welcome to come down, sit. Councilman will read it, and then you're welcome to say a few words and do a photo op.
All right, thank you, sir. The City of Sparks proclamation. Whereas human trafficking is a public health issue and crime that harms the health and well-being of individuals, families, and communities, often across generations. And whereas nearly 25 years after the passing of the Trafficking Victims Protection Act established, an estimated 27.6 million people are subject to human trafficking globally, with cases reported in every U.S. state and territory. And whereas human trafficking can happen to anyone, but certain populations are at greater risk, including people affected by abuse, violence, poverty, unstable living situations, or social disconnection. And whereas human trafficking is connected to many other forms of violence and exploitation, and often shares common risks and protective factors such as lack of resources and unsafe environments. And whereas the Human Trafficking Prevention Alliance underscores the need to understand how human trafficking relates to other forms of violence and how we can prevent it by strengthening protective factors at the individual, relational, community, and sociable levels. And whereas strengthening communities requires collective action to reduce the conditions that contribute to exploitation, build resilience, and create environments where people are protected from human trafficking and other forms of violence. And whereas the Nevada Human Trafficking Prevention Alliance is committed to assuring that every child is empowered to make healthy choices and advocate for themselves and others through comprehensive and age-appropriate education. And whereas a successful response to human trafficking requires coordination, community-wide efforts, and includes collaboration across sectors and with those who have experienced human trafficking firsthand to ensure that services and programs are effective and meet the needs of all survivors. And whereas every individual, family, community, and organization can help raise awareness, preventing trafficking, and support survivors by learning how to take action at ht-prevention.org. And now, therefore, on behalf of Mayor Lawson, the Mayor of City of Sparks, Nevada, do hereby proclaim January 2025 Human Trafficking Prevention Month.
You're welcome to say a few words if you want.
I love to talk.
So do we.
As they know. Human Trafficking Prevention Alliance was formed just about 2 years ago, and we're a nonprofit organization, and really we're focused on empowering our youth to make healthy choices. It's so important that we don't only teach them, but also parents and caregivers, how to respond to it, how to report it, so that, we can thrive as a community. Because when one person is trafficked, it affects everyone. And our youth are being not only trafficked, but they're being exploited. Prostitution is human trafficking. There is not one person who can say that they want to be in that position. They feel they have no choice. And we want that not to be the norm here in Nevada. Unfortunately, it can be taught at a very young age. And so we want to really give children the foundation, the skills to know that there are people out there that can help them if they get stuck in a situation. And there are organizations like ours that are helping others and survivors, and it's not their fault. It's never a child's fault. So I want to thank City of Sparks for declaring the National Prevention Month for January. It's important that the community knows that the city is behind our organizations who are out there trying to make a difference. And I want to thank you all very much for the proclamation. Thank you so much. And these are my president, Megan Castro, and Deborah Verdi is our director. So we have a great group of volunteers, and we look forward to working with all of you.
And
Thank
what was
you.
your name again?
My name is Janet Lombardo. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm hoarse. And I'm from New York. I'm here for 3 years only, and I love Sparks. I live in Sparks, and I love Nevada. And we really just want to do everything we can to protect our youth.
Gotcha. I think Councilwoman Bybee has something.
Thank you so much for being here. And actually, you know how to pronounce the name of our state. Coming from New York, I'm very impressed.
I know a lot of people. Well, it took me a little while, I have to say.
Thank you all for being here. An extraordinary issue that I was not aware of until probably in the last 10 years I've been here on the council and never even thought about the I-80 corridor, and that the trafficking, the human trafficking, the drug trafficking, because we've got that artery moving right through our city. I mean, you just don't think of our little town of being, and towns across the country are. So it was a real wake-up call for me to understand how prevalent it is and how serious it is, and appreciate the work you're doing. To get more information about your organization, do you have a website? Do you have any events coming up or things you could let us know if you have fundraisers or just awareness events that we could be part of, or that we could spread that word? That'd be great.
So we have events that we do online, so that if someone can't make an event, we do parent and caregiver internet safety classes. We are also doing a program for homeschoolers because they need this information as well. So Megan is holding that this month. Megan, what date is that? The 23rd. It's at the Northwest Reno Library this time. And we also have other programs. We have a golf tournament in July at the Red Hawk, which we're looking for sponsors, and for people who are interested in that, they can visit our website. We have a wonderful website which has a lot of information, a lot of resources. It has all of our events as well, and it's ht-prevention.org. We also are partnering with the HEAT team to possibly co-present in the schools. We recently talked to the superintendent, and we are trying to get into the schools. It's really important, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but Shared Hope International puts out a report every year, and for every state. And we went from an F to a C, but we're still failing in prevention. And the reason why we're failing in prevention is because it's not mandatory in the schools. You know, we're always looking how to put the Band-Aid on it and fix it or give survivors support. We have very little support for people who want to prevent these things from happening. And it's the same with drugs and alcohol. Prevention is key, and we just don't get enough support for prevention work. We're all volunteers. We're not funded at all. We're looking for funding, but we're not funded, so it's really hard for us to get there. You know, we have to like meet more people and really get out. It's a lot of work, but from the grassroots, you know, we can make this happen. And so we want to try to change that from an F to a C, at least by changing possibly the laws and, you know, the schools. I mean, I know there's a stigma. Nobody wants to say that we have this going on, but if we don't talk about it and we don't teach our kids and we don't reach our kids, nothing is ever going to change. If we don't have predators, we wouldn't have traffickers. The predators need to be punished. They need to be shamed. We can't do it without that, because they're the cause. You know, like I said, if we didn't have the predators, who are the people who are buying sex, we wouldn't have traffickers. There wouldn't be no one to traffic. It wouldn't be needed. So we really, you know, those are the key issues that we have.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I know that answered a lot more than what you wanted, but I could go on and on and on if you want.
No, we appreciate the passion. I didn't know. Go for Joe. Councilman Rodriguez, sorry.
Well, thank you. I encourage you, I'll reach out. Is there a way to connect to you guys through this website?
Yeah, actually, my email address is janet@ht-prevention.org, Megan at HT, and Deborah. So it's Janet, either one of us, with our domain name, is our email.
Great. Because I know from my previous role, serving as a trustee on school board, that was a big thing, was getting one of our school police officers on the HEAT team and being that resource. So I look forward to having communication. I love they connect you with the current trustees. Because I know that was one of the big things, was either getting Awaken or something like that to help teach age-appropriate education and implement that through our SHARE program or somewhere nexus to that. So you're spot on with
that would be wonderful. We're really excited about that. And we just became an education partner with NCMEC, which is the National Center on Missing and Exploiting Children. We teach their curriculum because it's based on data and it's based on you know, age-appropriate. We go from kindergarten to 12th grade. So, yeah, thank you.
Anyone else? I'll just say thank you for being here. I actually have a ride along with the HEAT team this week, so it's a good time to be here, and I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more
wonderful.
about the team. I only know a little, but
yeah, they're amazing. They're doing great work. We also have the other group in the county doing some really great work, and we look forward to partnering and really filling the gaps wherever it's needed. You know, if we can't co-present, then we can present if they can't present and things like that. We're willing to, you know, fill the gaps where we need to. So.
Councilman Rodriguez will join you guys right about there. You'll take a photo with our amazing Julie, and it'll go all over to our, like Mayor Lawson always say, our millions of viewers everywhere. Do I stay? I need more at this point. Gotta have it now. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good one. We're off to item 8.1, consent items, consideration and possible acceptance of the report of the claims and bills approved for payment and appropriation transfers for the period of November 23rd, 2024 through December 30th, 2024. Looking for a motion. Councilwoman Vanderwell.
Nope, hold on.
Oh.
I move to approve agenda item 8.1 is submitted.
Councilman, thank you. Councilman Rodriguez? Second. We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Looks like it. Passes unanimously. Item 9.1, general business, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of a construction contract AC-6086 for the 2025 street cut permanent patch project bid number 24/25-006, program number 603190, PWPWA-2025-070 to Sierra Nevada Construction, Inc. in the amount of $402,007.00 for possible action.
All right, well, good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tempore, members of City Council. Andrew Jankura, your new Transportation Manager. Before I have you is a construction contract for the 2025 Street Cut Permanent Patch Project with Sierra Nevada Construction. Quick background, this program is conducted on a yearly basis where we require a contractor to permanently patch city-owned streets and alleys that has been cut by our permit holders. The patch program is self-funded and paid for by permitting fees. This project is included in the City Council approved 2025 Capital Improvements program. This project was we received 3 qualified bids on November 20th, 2024. Staff recommends council approve the contract with Sierra Nevada Construction in the amount of $402,007. I'm happy to answer any of your questions.
Sure. Any questions or comments? Anyone? I have one that I just thought of. So when we have a temporary patch come in, how long until the final patch would come in later? Sorry, random thought. Yeah.
Make them stumble.
Random thought I just thought of.
Amber Sosa, city engineer for the record. So we do have it built into the contract that the contractor does need to reply to address the patch in a certain amount of days if we need to specify it. Other than that, we work with our contractor to help them, get a nice group together to make it more efficient. But they do have, I believe it's 14 days, and they can check that if we need to get one. When we give them a patch, if we need it done, it needs to be done within 14 days.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. That's all I have. Sorry.
Thank you.
I think we're looking for a motion. Councilman Anderson.
Try that again. Move to approve the construction contract AC 6086 for the 2025 street cut permanent patch project bid number 2425006 PWP WA 2025-070 to Sierra Nevada Construction Incorporated in the amount of $402,007.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Vanderwell.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Passes unanimously. Got you. I'm just giving everyone the teaser. 9.2, consideration, discussion. Thank you, sir. Consideration, discussion, possible acceptance of a grant from the Neil J. Redfield Foundation in the amount of $19,850 to support Leisure Without Limits programs for 2025.
Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem Abbott and Council. I'm Shauna Nelson, Recreation Manager. I'm here today requesting that you accept a grant award we have received from the Neil J. Redfield Foundation in the amount of $19,850 to support our Leisure Without Limits programs in 2025. Leisure Without Limits programs include annual events and weekly enrichment activities that we offer for people with disabilities. Annually, we have Mark Wellman's Adventure Day that takes place at the Sparks Marina and some themed dances that we do. And weekly, we have a bowling program and an art class that take place throughout the year. I want to note that we have been receiving funding from the Neil J. Redfield Foundation since 2009 for a total of $415,900. So we want to recognize and thank them very much for their continued support of the City of Sparks and Parks and Recreation. With that, I'd like to recommend you accept the grant award from the Neil J. Redfield Foundation in the amount of $19,850 to support Leisure Without Limits in 2025. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Shauna. Any questions, comments? Councilwoman Bybee.
I love this program. I mean, I think a lot of people don't even realize that that's happening here in the city. How many people would you say, I know the individual events differ by dances and holiday events, but how many residents do you think this touches annually?
Oh, boy.
Sorry.
That's a really good question. I can gauge by our largest event, which is always our winter Christmas dance that takes place, which this year filled up before the end of October with people because we're limited on space where we hold it. So I think we had about over 250 participants at that one event. But you know what? Last week at art class, there was a set of twins that came in there that I've never seen, and I've been serving this population for 20 years. And so a lot, a very fair amount. So exact number, I don't.
Okay. Thank you. And you're right, the Redfield Foundation to support this continuously. We can't thank them enough. It's just such a worthwhile program to keep going for the next 20 years.
I'm very lucky to be able to work with that group. They're super great.
Is it possible, Shauna, in the future, like the Christmas dance? Like, I don't think I knew about it till I saw the videos or photos. Is it possible maybe to get like calendar for all of us? A calendar invite for that, or even Mark Wellman days, like any of those? I know the bowling is separate, but like, I know that's always a fun time for anyone who hasn't checked it out. Not trying to give too much direction, but I think that'd be fun just for us to check out some of those cool events to see where our dollars are going, or it's not even our dollars.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. We'd love to have
It'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, cool. Any other questions or comments? I don't see any. I am going to look for a motion. Looking. Councilwoman Vanderwell.
I move to accept the grant from the Neil J. Redfield Foundation in the amount of $19,850 to support Leisure Without Limits for 2025.
Thank you. Councilman Rodriguez. We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Passes unanimously. I don't know. Am I supposed to wait? Like, okay, we're good. I won't make us wait anymore. I'll just let the results out soon. 9.3. Thank you, Shauna. 9.3. Consideration, discussion, and possible acceptance of the Helen Close Charitable Foundation grant in the amount of $55,000 with the City of Sparks requirement to match $0 to purchase a Polaris Ranger. I like the $0 match already.
Mel did a good job.
She is a rock star.
Want the PowerPoint?
Yeah, it's just. For the record, Sean Hanneman, Captain with Sparks Fire Department. Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. This grant is from the Helen Close Charitable Foundation for $55,000, and there is no match. It's for a Polaris Ranger, similar to what you see here. This is for special events, maneuvering around tight spaces, bollards, and stuff for our special events. The biggest thing with this is it's able to get us to patients, get us to fires, get us to whatever quickly, safely, lights, sirens. It's going to have all the bells and whistles. The plow is not going to be on it for special events. That could get a little dangerous. So we will have that off. But we have the ability to transport with this to a place where we can rendezvous with EMS. So it's really great overall. The foundation awards several $1,000s per year. In 2008, I was part of the original grant with Helen Close that did just over $51,000 for current Cart 1 and 2 that are starting to age out. Our Cart 2 is no longer being used, so this will be a replacement for that. The motion is before you, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Gotcha. Thank you, Captain. Any questions, comments from anyone? I don't see one. Great presentation.
Thank you.
I'm looking for a motion shortly. Councilman Anderson.
Move to accept the Helen Close Charitable Foundation grant in the amount of $55,000 with the City of Sparks requirement to match $0 to purchase a Polaris Ranger.
Councilwoman Vanderwell.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Passes unanimously. Thanks, Mel, for your help on this too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Captain. Thank you. 9.4, consideration, discussion, and possible approval to accept the Emergency Management Performance Grant, the EMPG, from the Nevada State Department of Emergency Management, DEM, on behalf of the Federal Emergency Management Agency for $83,987.88 with matching funds of $89,987.88, covering salary and benefits for Battalion Chief Scott Means in his role as Emergency Manager.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Council. I'm Mel Evans, the Grants Administrator for the record. This is an allocated grant, meaning the monies are awarded each year by population versus competition. We still have to put in an application, but it's an allocation to us by the Nevada State Department of Emergency Management, DEM, based upon available funding from FEMA. It's a one-to-one match, so we contribute an equal amount, and DEM will reimburse us then for this $83,987.88 for Scott's position, which includes salary and benefits. The term runs 10/1 of 23 through 9/30 of 24, so it's already passed. We're always kind of in arrears with this particular grant, and upon approval today, we'll go ahead and start billing against. Last year, the fire department received $93,559.89, so a little bit more, and all of the FEMA EMPG, as you are well aware, was reduced this last year, so we're just happy to get it. And the motion's before you. I'll just close by saying Scott's working in California right now at the wildfires, and I just want to say our prayers and thoughts are with him and all the firefighters out in California. Thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or comments from anyone? I don't see anybody looking for a motion, I believe. Councilwoman Bybee.
I move to approve the Emergency Management Performance Grant from the Nevada State Department of Emergency Management on behalf of the Federal Emergency Management Agency for $83,987.88 with matching funds of $83,987.88 covering salary and benefits for Battalion Chief Scott Means in his role as Emergency Manager.
Councilman Rodriguez.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Passes unanimously. Thanks, Mel.
Thank you.
9.5, consideration, discussion, and possible acceptance of a grant award from the Office of Criminal Justice Assistance, OCJA 2024 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant, JAG, in the amount of $31,000 to acquire one flock surveillance trailer. Chief.
Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem and members of council. For the record, I'm Chris Crawforth, your police chief. Before you today is the possible acceptance of a grant award from the Office of Criminal Justice Assistance, 2024 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant, in the amount of $31,000. There are no required matching funds. If approved, the Sparks Police Department will utilize these funds to acquire one flock surveillance trailer. These trailers are much like you see in parking lots. They're solar powered, battery powered, with a little more cameras and extra swag, if you will. This grant will help to improve crime deterrence and investigate measures by integrating advanced surveillance technologies. The trailer will be mobile as stated, which will allow Sparks Police to move the trailer to locations as needed. The trailer is battery and solar powered and incorporates license plate reader cameras and pan tilt zoom cameras that are able to be remotely monitored and manipulated. This trailer is expected to primarily be utilized by our NPU unit and our joint venture with Reno Police Department as a real-time intelligence center. One of the many uses for this trailer would be to continue our focus to deter and investigate retail theft. Project strategically aligns with Sparks' overall public safety goals, emphasizing community-oriented policing and encouraging cooperative partnerships with both government agencies and community stakeholders. Collaborations with City IT and other departments ensure that new technologies are seamlessly integrated into existing infrastructure, thereby increasing operational efficiency and effectiveness. I am here recommending approval and here for any questions.
Thanks, Chief. Councilwoman Bybee.
Thank you, Chief. Obviously, I think we're all loving to be receiving grant money to help us do the work that we're doing, and I think this is super important, especially with technology. My question would be, is the $31,000 cover the full cost of the trailer, or does the trailer cost more than that? It's just overall cost of the trailer?
No, we'll cover the full amount of the trailer.
Okay, and then how long, do we know how long before something like that has to be replaced, or not, because it's a new technology?
The nice part is they actually make an agreement with us that we will probably in the future have to redo, but it's a lease. So we're not responsible for any of the equipment, the damage, things of that nature, which is actually better for us.
Okay,
so we
perfect.
don't have to replace it, or we just replace it down the road with a newer and better version.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Any other questions or comments for the chief? Yeah, my bad. Councilman Anderson.
Chief, I just want to say thank you for looking at this type of technology and these types of systems, plus the grant's pretty awesome too. But like you and I have talked about, I really think that the way that you're heading with the department, I think it's so cool, the way that you're looking at technology and how we can do more of that real crime technology and prevention, so that folks don't want to come to Sparks to commit a crime, because you're using your officers and technology to the best level. And I just want to say thank you very much for doing this. Appreciate
Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Thanks, Councilman. Anyone else? Don't see anybody looking. Sorry, I saw you, Lisa. I didn't know. Looking for a motion. Councilman Rodriguez.
Thank you, sir. I move to accept the grant from the Office of Criminal Justice Assistance 2024 Edward Memorial Justice Assistance Grant in the amount of $31,000 to acquire one flock surveillance trailer.
Yes, sir. Councilman Anderson.
Second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Passes unanimously. Thanks, Chief.
Out for one more, I think.
Oh, sounds good. I was like,
We'll see if that's okay with you.
that's okay. It's
You're the
hashtag
boss,
no matching grant day. So just, I'm just kidding.
You want to kick
I
me
know.
out?
I'm just- Item 90, I know. Item 9.6, consideration, discussion, and possible approval for an interlocal agreement, AC-6088, between the City of Reno on behalf of the Reno Police Department, Washoe County, on behalf of the Washoe County Sheriff's Office, and the City of Sparks, on behalf of the Sparks Police Department for the management and disposition of the 2024 Justice Assistance Grant, the JAG, program award with the U.S. Department of Justice, Office of the Justice Programs, Bureau of Justice Assistance, in the total amount of $211,642, with Sparks' share being $42,328.40 for possible action.
Good afternoon again, Mayor Pro Tem and members of council. For the record, Chris Crawford, your police chief, before you today, as Mayor Pro Tem said, is possible acceptance of a grant award from the U.S. Department of Justice in the total amount of $211,642, with Sparks' share being $42,328.40. There are no matching or no required matching funds. This is a joint venture with the the primary law enforcement agencies in the Valley. It is managed by Reno Police Department, and then we just get our share. If approved, the Sparks Police Department will utilize the funds to pay for 2 of our lieutenants to attend the Senior Management Institute for Police Training, and also replace evidence freezers that are at their end of their life in our evidence storage to ensure that we maintain proper evidence preservation. This grant will help to improve our successes as an agency through police-specific training for our future leaders. And as I stated, we'll also replace critical infrastructure that is near the end of life. I also want to point out with the last 2, big thank you to Becky Justin, our grants administrator, for all the grants she keeps bringing forward to us. So with that, I recommend approval. I'm here for any questions.
Awesome. Thanks, Chief. Any questions or comments? Don't see anybody. Looking for a motion. Long one. Councilman Anderson.
Let's see how badly I can mess this one up. I move to approve the interlocal agreement AC 6088 between the City of Reno on behalf of the Reno Police Department, Washoe County on behalf of Washoe County Sheriff's Office, and the City of Sparks on behalf of Sparks Police Department for the management and disposition of 2024 Justice Assistant Grant JAG Program Award from the U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Justice Programs, Bureau of Justice Assistance, in the total amount of $211,642, with the Sparks share being $42,328.40.
Councilwoman Vanderwell.
Second.
Awesome. We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Passes unanimously. Thanks, Chief. 9.7, first reading of Bill Number 2826 to amend the Spanish Springs Town Center Plan Development, the Spanish Springs Town Center Development Plan Design Standards and Regulation Handbook to add use in the development standards for climate-controlled mini warehouse facilities on an approximately 8.9 acres site generally located east of Galleria Parkway and south of Los Altos Parkway, Sparks, Nevada, APN 510-491-15 through 17 in the NUD, the New Urban District, Spanish Springs Town Center Zoning District. Possible action is the first reading, but I just read it, I think, so we're good. I did it for you. Perfect.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Since you did just read it into the record, I will just continue on and say a public hearing will be held and Bill 2826 will be acted upon at the regular meeting of the Sparks City Council on Monday, January 27th, 2025 at 2 p.m. in the Sparks City Council Legislative Building. Thank you.
Good teamwork on that item right there. We'll move to item, there's no public hearing action items, so we'll go to 11.1. Consideration, discussion, and possible action on a request for a conditional use permit PCN 03061/CU 24-0010 to amend a previously approved special use permit PCN 03061 to allow for outdoor storage and the construction of up to 10 additional tanks for the distribution, manufacturing, and storage of hazardous materials on a 5.03 acre site located at 2302 Larkin Circle, Sparks, Nevada, APN 034-171-42 in the I Industrial Zoning District. For possible action, Mr. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, members of the City Council. For the record, Scott Carey, Development Services Manager. At the October 28th City Council meeting, as the council may be aware, this item was continued to today's meeting with the direction to staff to provide additional information about the possibility of the chemicals mixing on the site, and to explore options for advanced warning systems. And the council also at that meeting directed staff to look at revised conditions of approval for enhanced notification and a warning system. Following that meeting, throughout the month of November and into early December, staff worked closely with the applicant and the Sparks Fire Department to provide that technical information that was requested. That has been incorporated into today's staff report. Also, staff did work closely with the applicant to come up with revised conditions of approval. Those are included as Exhibit 14 in today's meeting packet. On November 27th, we received a notification from the applicant on a request to withdraw this conditional use permit request. The applicant in their letter, which is included in the exhibit, I believe it's Exhibit 16, cites business conditions and they no longer wish to pursue this project at this time. So because this item was continued to this meeting and there was notification that a public hearing was going to be held, staff recommendation that the City Council do conduct that public hearing and can take any additional public comment that there may be on this item. And then after the hearing, it's staff's recommendation that the council take action to formally accept the applicant's withdrawal of this conditional use permit request. We'll note that prior to the meeting, staff did reach out to the folks that spoke at the October 28th meeting, did conduct outreach to the other folks that did submit public comment at the Planning Commission and as well too. So with that concludes my presentation. Be happy to answer any questions.
Councilman Anderson.
Scott, I just wanted to say thank you to you and all the staff that spent so much time working on this project. Obviously, we heard from some very vocal and concerned businesses that were surrounding that. And I just appreciate the fact that you all spent the time to listen to the concerns, listen to the applicant, and make sure that we were doing the best thing as a city. So I just want to say, it's kind of, I don't know, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing that we're not going to do anything with it. I want to say thanks to you guys, because you spent a lot of time on something that now is not going to come to be, at least at this point. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilmember. Appreciate those kind words. I think one thing in this has been a learning opportunity for the staff. And at the very least, I believe the applicant is going to continue to conduct the business under their existing special use permit. But I think the relationship with the neighborhood has improved. And I think certainly the relationship between the applicant and the staff has improved. So we look forward to continuing to work with them under the existing operations.
Any other questions or comments from up here? I don't see any. I will open up the public comment. Nancy from Bobcat Areno, come on down. And if anyone else wants to make comment, fill out a card and we'll get you up here. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, Nancy Franzia, co-owner Bobcat of Reno. So I understand that the expansion has been removed, but I also believe we learned that they were previously permitted for larger capacity. So is that information available to us to see what they are permitted for?
We can't answer the question directly, but I'm sure Scott Carey could probably help you out. Is that okay? But not right after the meeting or something. We just can't address public comment right now.
Okay. So what do I do next?
He'll talk to you after you finish your public comment. If you have, you're welcome to say anything
That's
else.
all.
Too.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? I don't see anybody. We'll close public comment, bring it back to us. I'm looking for a motion. Councilman Anderson.
Yes, sir. I move to accept the applicant's request to withdraw conditional use permit CU 24-0010.
Awesome. And Councilwoman Bybee.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Passes unanimously. Awesome. Thank you. And definitely shout out to staff for making it all happen. So item 12.1, comments from the public. We have another public comment period. If anybody has something they want to fill out a card and come down here, you're welcome to. I don't see anyone. I don't think we have any cards. So we'll close that section and go to 12.2, announcements from the mayor, city council, and the city manager. Any of my colleagues have any lovely things to say?
No announcements today, Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you.
I'll throw a shout out to Telmorph. We haven't had a meeting since they did this, but they collected 3,752 pounds for the food bank in Northern Nevada, which was a pretty cool thing that they did out there. And I don't see Mr. Menzer here, but shout out to their team. But that's all I got. So I think we will adjourn at 2:52 p.m. today. Thank you all, and have a great rest of your week.